Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got to start the process of getting the forms for the slab mounted on this stem wall so we can get ready to pour that, but also so that the plumber can use them to lay in his string lines for putting the plumbing in. He needs to be able to elevate the string lines above where he's going to be digging out to put the under slab plumbing in. So I've got to get these things marked out and laid in. I have already taken the laser level and gone around and found the highest spot on the top of this stem wall. I thought that this stem wall was pretty level, but what I discovered when I checked it about every 6 inches all the way around the whole thing is that the garage end of it is about an inch lower than the highest point, which is over here on the front face of the house. So what I'm gonna have to do is use the laser to set the bottom line for my form boards so that the top of the slab actually comes out at the same height, and we don't have less than a 4-inch thickness anywhere over the surface of the slab. So it's gonna be interesting. First thing I've got to do is take out part of this ramp so I can get the boards mounted on the face over here when I get to it. So I'm about to hop in the backhoe and do that. Okay, to figure out where the cleats need to go to support the bottom of this form, we're gonna do some math. And when I set up this laser level, I wasn't shooting for any particular elevation. I just wanted to get a starting point or a 0 point for the highest point on the top of this slab, or on the top of this stem wall rather. So I took the laser level, set it up over here, and then went around, and every place that I found that was high, I adjusted the laser level until I stopped finding places that were higher. Everything else is below that level. And the reason I'm doing that is we want a minimum of a 4-inch thickness on this slab. So that means that everything to set the form is going to have to be based off of the highest point. So what I ended up with was 2 feet 6 3/4 inches as my high point. So we've got 2 feet 6 3/4 inches, and this 2x8 is actually 1.5 by 7 1/4. And we know that we need 4 inches of this board sticking up above the top of above the highest point in order to get us that 4 inches. So what that means is, to get the bottom of the board, I need to add the difference between 4 inches and 7 1/4 to this measurement. That's 3 1/4 inches, which gives us 2 feet 10 inches as the bottom of the form board, or the top of the cleat that I need to set all along here. So if I adjust this up to 2 feet 10 inches, all right, so that gives us 2 feet 10 inches. I set this on there. And we are at 4 1/8 here. So that means that this spot is actually lower than the highest spot I found over in the garage. So the slab right here is going to be thicker than it will over there, but it'll be at the same elevation all the way down through here. Next thing I need to do is start marking these tops and start getting the cleat on and checking it for level so that we know everything's good. This is another one of those things that probably would be easier with 2 people, but I got what I got. Since I got 10-foot boards, because it's easier for me to handle, what I'm going to do is put a cleat basically every 5 feet, and that way I know it's supported in the middle, it's supported on the ends where there's going to be a join, and we're probably going to have to put some other bracing in here, but I'm going to start with this just so we can get the plumber working. And what I'm going to do is put up one and make sure this is going to work, and then if it looks good, we'll go on from there. What I'm going to do is use some 2 1/4 tap cons to go through the cleat to hold them on, and then we'll screw the upright that goes on the outside to keep everything vertical to the cleat. Alright. So I've got my mark here on the bottom of the laser level, and I'm going to put this just a touch below that line, so if we need to make any adjustments we can. And since a bunch of these boards that we're using are not cut square, I'm just going to take a level and level up the top so that we don't get inconsistencies in the height of it. Alright, we'll take one of our blocks and stick it on there and make sure we've got at least 4 inches sticking up, because we know it's going to be inconsistent 4 7/16 here. Alright, that will work, because it's a royal pain to use that level, or I mean that laser all the time. It's a lot easier to use a level and go from block to block. To check the top of this, 2 feet 6 3/4 was our high point over here. So we need to subtract 4 inches from that, which should give us the top of this form. So 2 feet 6 3/4 minus 4 inches is 2 feet 2 3/4, which is of course right on this joint. And that is 2 feet 2 3/4. So that is working out correctly. Now if I can just be consistent all the way around this thing. All right, when I put this board up and flexed it in to account for the bow that's in it, there's a high spot right here that is about 3/16 of an inch out from the face of the stem wall. So I'm going to take a diamond wheel or disc and face that off a little bit so that this will go in more flush and we don't end up with a hump in the front of the slab that we've got to contend with later. That's pretty good. And that flattened it right out. I don't know why that one didn't catch. There'd be a void in the concrete. I'm going to start seeing if I can get these mounted up and keep them level and at the right elevation. And I'm switching over to 3/16 by 3 1/4 tap cons. To hold this form in.
All right, folks, I think that's going to wrap this video up for today. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a good day.